Today we're going to do some loader lift capacity testing on the 2038R. Unfortunately, due to poor planning on my part, we'll have to wait a few minutes. Okay, while we're letting the bucket thaw, yeah, my planning is not great, is it? Let's do that pressure test. I always want to do a pressure test before I do a loader lift capacity. So we'll get on that here now. I've got more cats than I know what to do with. And again, they weren't bothering me at all until I got the camera out here right now. So the tractor is warm. I just turned it off so I could talk to you here. Let's do the pressure test. The gauge is upside down here. I hope you can still read it. Even if not, I'll give you a close-up here in a second. Okay, there you have it. The pressure gets very close to 3,000 psi. The specs on the website say 2,500 psi. I looked at the service manual. You don't typically get the service manual, but it is something you can buy from your dealer. And it said anywhere from 2,430 to over 2,900. I haven't touched this one since I got it. Not even sure how to adjust it, but it's right at 3,000. I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to leave it where the dealer set it, or where the manufacturer set it. Yeah, that single point connector is great. Now, if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know that I've done these lift capacity tests with the 1025R, with the Kubota BX, actually side by side. Some folks got a little freaked by that. You'll have to check that one out. We also did it with a 3032E, I believe. And of course that would be the same as all the 3Es, the 3025 and 3038E as well. I think I've got plans on how to do it a little bit better this time. I'm wondering if I'll have enough weight. Because one of the tests I want to do is how much will the loader pick up off the ground? Even if it's only an inch or so, how much will it pick up off the ground? The 1025R, at factory specification, maybe just slightly over factory specification of pressure, was 1,400 pounds. I've tossed around in my head a way to do this with my load center so I didn't have to use the physical weights. Just not sure how I could do it as well. And there is something, I don't know, realistic about actually putting the load in the bucket. I just think it's a better test. The other problem is I want to be able to do it at ground level. And I'd have to either dig a big pit in the hole or use my lift and somehow tie the other end of the load center to the ground. Had some ideas. None of them really seem plausible for me yet. Hey guys, don't forget to check us out at the farm show. That's this week, if you're watching it just after it got posted. February 12th to the 15th, 2020. 11 a.m. each day at the John Deere booth. And on Thursday evening, we're going to W.W. Cousins at 7 p.m. for a cheeseburger. Hope to see you there. Okay, just off the ground. In other words, I'm maybe only a half an inch, quarter inch off the ground. 1,720 pounds roughly. It's probably 1,730 maybe, because each of these weigh a little bit more than what they're supposed to, but let's call it 1,720 pounds. By the way, this includes the stock bucket, 57-inch material bucket. If you want to compare, you look at the boom breakout force. That's the spec that you can see on the website or in your manual. That's what you're comparing to. On this one, it's 1,360 pounds it's listed. We got 1,720. Now here's where I'm going to do it differently, and I think a little more thorough. I've got my laptop with me here. I'm going to take off weight in the most minimal amount I can. For instance, right now I have to take off 40 pounds. That's the smallest weight I've got on there. But as I go, I'm going to take off the most minimal amount of weight I can, and I'm going to measure how high the bucket will lift. Once we get all done with that, I'm actually going to draw a graph, and we should be able to see lift height versus amount of weight it can lift. I'm going to try to keep the bucket flat. That makes it a little bit subjective, so it's not going to be perfect, just like all of our nearly or not so nearly scientific experiments. Hey, by the way, thanks for watching us. We really appreciate it. Sometimes I think I get a little technical with this stuff, but I guess I'm kind of an engineer type thinker, and I don't know, I like to see what it'll really do. What do you think, guys?
Now you'll likely notice here that the right side of the bucket, there where I'm measuring, appears to be a little bit lower, a little bit closer to the floor than the left side. Several reasons for that. One is that the floor is simply unlevel in this part of my shed. Another might be that I believe my load is a little bit offset. I was trying to get it centered, but I guess I didn't focus quite enough on it. It looks to me like the weight is a little bit heavy on the right side. You may see similar results, and it may be something that bothers you. I would suggest not to get too concerned about it. It is possible to bend your loader booms, but they've handled everything we've thrown at them for years.
We're making progress. Now at 1,240 pounds, and we're 41.5 inches off the floor. It's kind of consistently lifting more as we get higher and higher. Let's see if that trend continues. Notice that I tilt the bucket down before I lift. That's because I don't want the tilt change the results. As I tilt that back, the load gets closer and closer to the pivot pin, and that dramatically changes the results. I'm trying to keep the load the same distance forward. A level bucket's the only way I know how to do that. So, one thing that's going to be skewed about these results is that if you're loading a bucket of dirt, you go in, you turn it upward, you're going to get a heavier load because you'll be a little bit closer to the pivot pin. Seems I have a hydraulic leak back here on one of my couplers. Just about kicked a cat too. Can't be here while I've got that loaded. The leak is one of my couplers on my diverter. Must have an O-ring bad in it. I connected Ken's pressure gauge and the leak goes away. So as long as it's got something connected to the coupler, it's fine. Okay, 980 pounds over my head. I can lift that, right? Yeah. I know, it seems like it's where the action is, doesn't it? And 45 pounds. What do you think? Hey, it's safer than her being under the thing, and I can't seem to keep her from being under the thing otherwise. Folks, I think that may be max lift height. Yeah. Same thing I had with Mary. 77 3/4. Okay, Mary, see what I mean? You're in the wrong place again. Okay, there you have it. 900 pounds plus Mary to full lift height with the bucket level. So that was 77 3/4 or so. The pin height measured at 83 3/4 that height. You tired of numbers? Hey, we got some good stuff coming up. We were able to go to the Augusta factory this past week. We're editing on that video. It'll be out in a little while. And we got some more interesting stuff to show too. So make sure you come back for our next episodes. Meanwhile, I think we're kind of ready for winter to be over. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.